Hi guys, I'm Amberly for those of you who don't know me, and this is Going Hard for God Every Day. I've been feeling the need to do my part to spread the gospel and help people get closer to God, and I felt that in order for it to truly be for God's glory, it needed to be something that was out of my comfort zone, something that I'm not used to doing. And so I'm putting myself out there in a very difficult way, and today I'm actually going to tell you my story and how I came to find the relationship that I have with our Heavenly Father. So just a little backstory to let you know, when I was a kid growing up, I didn't go to church a lot. We did some Sundays ride the church bus to go to church, to go to Sunday school, and I was even baptized when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And you know, our family believed in God. We talked about, you know, we prayed mostly whenever bad things were happening and we felt like we needed God in our lives at that moment. But we were never the church family. So although I've always been a believer, I've never been a big church goer. And I've never really worried too much about the things that I was doing in my life, if they were for God, or if they were right, or if they were wrong. I have my morals, and I live by what I was raised between right and wrong, but it was never about how would God view me if I was doing this or if I was doing that. So when I was about 18 years old, I got into a relationship with someone who was very verbally abusive. I'd always had really low self-esteem growing up, and so this was just something that reiterated the way I felt about myself. I was called names: fat, ugly, stupid, all kinds of names. And there was even one point when it became physical, and I stayed with this person because I thought I couldn't do any better. And when that relationship ended, I got into another relationship that actually lasted about 7.5 years, and I really felt that this was the person I was going to spend the rest of my life with. He, in the beginning, treated me like I thought a princess should be treated. Flowers, cards, candy, gifts, jewelry, fancy dates, anything that you could have ever thought that you would want in a new relationship. And the first few years were really great. The second half of the relationship was a little bit more rocky. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a family. And the older I was getting, I was seeing that this wasn't happening. And it became something that we argued about a lot. And it was something that became an issue in our relationship. And it wasn't until the very end of the relationship that I finally realized that no matter how many times we talked about marriage and kids, it wasn't going to happen with this particular person. So we called things off, and it was very difficult. Even after we called things off, we kind of were off and on dating each other still. We tried one final time to make things work, and when that didn't work, his final excuse was that he just wasn't ready for marriage and kids. So a few weeks after our final attempt, he started dating a woman that had children, which was very difficult for me. It was hard for me to understand why it was not okay for you to have children with me. He didn't want a relationship, marriage, family, all of that with me, even though we'd been together for so long. And yet he was willing to just hop into this new relationship and take care of somebody else's kids and have that family lifestyle with them. So I guess I kind of used that as an excuse to start falling into bad habits. I no longer had that loving relationship that I had had before, and I felt like I lost my best friend in losing that relationship. So I started going on online dating sites and meeting random people. Sometimes I would invite them to my house for our first time meeting. Sometimes I would meet them at their house for our first time meeting. And I started living a life of extreme promiscuity. and just, it was very dangerous. I was sleeping around with people that I didn't know. I was occasionally having unprotected sex with people I didn't know. And there were a lot of risks that I was taking, and with really no concern whatsoever to myself. I was on a downward spiral, and I knew that if I didn't get help, that anything could have happened. I could have died. I could have been raped. I could have been murdered. Anything could have happened because of the situations I was putting myself in. And then I met a friend of mine who one day sat down with me and talked to me about his story and how he found God. And he told me that his story wasn't that much different than mine. And so I realized that there are other people out there that go through the same struggles that I go through every day, and they find comfort in God. And after talking to him for many hours one afternoon, I actually went into my bathroom and got on my knees and I prayed to God. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was calling on God because I needed him. I actually felt like God was calling on me because he needed me. That day was one of the greatest days of my life. And I really, truly believe that God has saved my life. I don't know where I would be without God today. I don't have all the answers, and I still struggle, and I still slip and fall and make mistakes. But when it comes down to it, I know that no matter what I go through, I have a God who loves me and forgives me for everything. He chose me before I was ever born, and he knows me better than anybody will ever know me, and he will never stop loving me. This video that I'm making, and the ones that I'm making in the future, I'm really hoping will bring people closer to God so that they can know the joy and the love that I know from my relationship with God. It's not an easy path. It's rocky, and people make mistakes, but you have to get up and just keep going. I know that through the church that I go to now, my church family, my real family, my friends, the good people that are in my life have helped me come closer and closer to God. And all I can ask is that everybody be patient with me, because it's taking me a little longer than I would like for it to take. But it's coming along. I'm coming along. And it's all because of God. I didn't change my life. God changed my life. I stopped sleeping around. I've gone sometimes months and months without falling. Sometimes it's only weeks. But I no longer put myself in those situations because I know that God chose me for a reason. And who am I to ruin what he has chosen and what he has made? So I hope that I can help you guys. If you have questions, please post, anything that I can do. I'm going to start doing more topics, biblical topics. I'm going to do interviews with other people, get other people's testimonials. This was just an opener so that you could see where I'm coming from and see that maybe my story is not much different from yours. And hopefully somebody else can find just the true happiness and love and joy that you find in Jesus. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.